You've been waiting, watching, hoping, thinking maybe, just maybe, things would change. That if you were patient enough, silent enough, forgiving enough, the world would suddenly play fair. But let me ask you something. How long are you gonna keep waiting? How many more chances are you gonna give to people who never deserved a single one? You see, that's the joke, the cruel little punchline. The world doesn't play fair. It never did. And the ones who survive, they're the ones who stop pretending that it does. You're sitting there, drowning in memories, haunted by their voices. The people who hurt you, the ones who made you feel small. They moved on, didn't they? They walked away like you were nothing. But you stayed, chained to the past, shackled by every word, every betrayal. And for what? A happy ending? A moment where they look back and regret it all? Let me tell you the truth. The only regret they'll ever have is if you stop being the weak, obedient little fool they always expected you to be. You've spent your life waiting for an apology that will never come. A moment of justice that was never promised. But that's the thing about justice. It's not handed out like candy. It's taken, earned, delivered by the ones who refuse to be victims anymore. And right now, you have two choices. You either keep sitting there, hoping for something that will never come, or you stand up. You take what's yours. You make them remember your name. I know what you're thinking, but I'm not like them. I don't want revenge. I don't want to sink to their level. Cute. Real noble. But let me ask you something. Where did being the good guy get you? What did it earn you? Respect, loyalty, love? No, it got you used. It got you thrown aside the moment they found someone more convenient. You see, people don't care about good or bad. They care about strong and weak, the useful and the disposable. And they decided a long time ago that you were disposable. The moment you stop waiting, the second you stop expecting the world to fix itself for you, that's when things change. Because let me tell you something, kid. No one's coming to save you. No hero, no miracle, no justice served on a silver platter. It's just you and the choices you make. And right now, you've got one hell of a choice to make. I know you feel it. The anger, the pain, the fire burning in your gut. And you've spent your whole life trying to smother it, haven't you? Trying to be better. Trying to be nice. But let me ask you, where did all that kindness get you? Did it stop them from hurting you? Did it make them care? It made them see you as weak, a toy to be played with, a pawn in their little game. Well, guess what? The game's over. The wait is over. It's time to settle the score. I don't care how many times they told you that you weren't good enough. I don't care how many nights you spent alone, screaming into the void, wondering why they never chose you. The truth is, they never even saw you. You were just a shadow in their world, a placeholder for something better. And now it's time to make them see. You don't get even by becoming them. No, that's too easy. You get even by becoming something they can never ignore, something they can never control. You take every single word they threw at you, every single scar they left, and you turn it into fuel. You rise from the ashes they buried you in, and you become something more, something unstoppable. And let me tell you, when you finally stop waiting, when you finally take control, the world is going to notice. Oh, they'll notice. They'll see you for the first time, and they'll regret every second they spent underestimating you. So, what's it gonna be? Another night waiting for a miracle? Or are you ready to show them exactly what happens when the forgotten refuse to be forgotten? You think they care about the pain they left you with? You think they lose sleep at night, haunted by the things they did to you? Let me paint you a picture, kid, while you're lying there, staring at the ceiling, drowning in the memories of what they said, what they did. They're out there laughing, smiling, moving on like nothing ever happened. Because to them you were never more than a passing moment, a flicker of something insignificant. You were just a body in the background of their story. And you made the mistake of thinking they saw you, that they valued you, that you mattered. But here's the truth. If you mattered, you wouldn't be sitting here, waiting for something that will never come. I know what you feel, that quiet, creeping rage, that deep, hollow ache inside you. You've swallowed it for so long, tried to silence it, tried to pretend it wasn't there, but it's there. It's always been there. And it's hungry. It's clawing at you, whispering, reminding you of every moment they made you feel like nothing. But instead of feeding it, instead of letting it become the fire that makes you rise, you've been drowning it in excuses. Maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe one day they'll realize. No more maybes. No more waiting. No more hoping for ghosts to come knocking at your door with apologies they never intended to give. They are not coming back. They are not sorry. They never were. And the joke? The cruel little punchline. You've been punishing yourself for their mistakes, carrying the weight of their choices like it was your burden to bear. Every sleepless night, every doubt, every self-hating thought, it was never yours to hold, but they left it with you, didn't they? Like cowards, like thieves in the night, they took what they wanted and left you with the wreckage. And you stood there sifting through the ruins, trying to make sense of it all, trying to find the why. Here's the why. Because they could. Because they knew you'd take it. Because they knew you'd keep bleeding long after they walked away. And that is what ends today. No more waiting. No more wishing. No more carrying the weight of people who never deserved a second thought. You think I don't know what it's like to be left behind, to be broken, to be turned into a joke in someone else's story? Oh, I know. I know better than most. But the difference between you and me? I didn't wait. I didn't sit around hoping the world would wake up and hand me justice. I took it. I carved it into the bones of the people who thought they could write me off. And now they remember my name. That's what you need to do. Not with violence. No, that's too easy. That's what they'd expect. No. You make them regret underestimating you by becoming something greater than they ever imagined. You take all of that pain, all of that anger, and you forge it into something they can never touch again. You build yourself into something untouchable, something undeniable, something that stands so tall, so powerful, that when they hear your name, they feel the sting of every mistake they ever made. But first, you have to wake up. You have to see the world for what it really is. No more fairy tales. No more fantasies where everything falls into place and everyone gets what they deserve. That's not how it works. The only people who get what they deserve are the ones who refuse to accept anything less. And you've been accepting scraps. You've been letting the world feed you lies, letting people walk all over you, hoping that one day they'll see your worth. They won't, not until you make them. Let me tell you something about people. They don't respect kindness. They respect power. They respect presence. They respect the ones who don't flinch when the world throws its worst at them. You think they respect the quiet ones, the ones who always say yes, who always wait, who always hope. Number. They respect the ones who demand to be seen, the ones who walk into the room and command attention without saying a single word. That's who you need to become. And I know the voice in your head is screaming, but I'm tired, I'm broken. I don't have it in me. Yes, you do. You've just never had to use it. But now you do. Now you either stand up or you stay down. Now you either take control or you keep being a puppet in someone else's show. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep waiting, keep hoping, keep wasting away in the shadows of people who never gave a damn about you? Or are you finally ready to step into the light and show them exactly what happens when the forgotten refuse to be forgotten? Because the wait is over. The time for hoping is done. Now it's time to settle the score. You feel it, don't you? That slow, creeping burn deep inside your chest. The one you've tried to suffocate for so long. The one they told you was too much. The one they convinced you was a weakness. But let me tell you something, kid. That fire inside you, it was never the problem. The problem was that you spent your whole life trying to put it out. You let their words pour over you like cold water, drowning the very thing that could have saved you. And for what? To fit in? To be liked? To be someone they could stomach? Look where that got you. Look at the reflection staring back at you. the hollow eyes, the tired bones, the weight of 1,000 wasted chances sitting heavy on your shoulders. And the worst part? You still think there's time. You still think you can afford another day, another excuse, another quiet moment waiting for things to change. But let me be clear, time is not your friend. Every second you waste, someone else is out there taking what should have been yours. Every moment you hesitate, someone else is stepping up, making moves, getting stronger while you sit there, trapped in your own mind. And trust me, no one's waiting for you to catch up. You think life plays fair? That it's got some grand plan to balance the scales? Cute, real cute. But let me tell you how the real world works. It doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't care about who deserves what. It rewards the ones who take, the ones who refuse to accept scraps, the ones who stop begging and start demanding. And you've been begging for too damn long. You begged for love, for respect, for recognition, for something, anything to prove that you mattered. And in return, they gave you silence, indifference, abandonment. And yet, here you are, still waiting for some invisible hand to make it right. But let me tell you, kid, no one is coming. No apology, no second chance, no grand moment where they wake up and realize what they did to you. If they cared, they would have never left you bleeding. So tell me, how much more are you willing to take? How many more nights are you going to spend replaying the past, wishing things had been different? How much longer before you realize that your only way forward is to stop looking back? Because that version of you, the one they broke, the one they used, the one they left behind, that version is gone. Buried beneath every scar, every betrayal, every sleepless night where you whispered, I can't do this anymore. But you can. And you will. You just don't know it yet. You've been told your whole life to be patient, to be kind, to forgive and forget. And sure, that sounds nice, real poetic. But let me ask you, did that kindness protect you? Did it stop them from stepping on your throat when you were at your weakest? No. All it did was make you an easier target. The world doesn't reward kindness. It rewards power. And power doesn't come from waiting. It comes from action. It comes from making a choice right here, right now, to never be the person they left behind again. Because that's the only way you win. That's the only way you settle the score. No, I'm not telling you to become them. That's too simple. I'm telling you to become more. To rise so high that they can't even reach you. To grow so strong that their words become meaningless. Their absence becomes irrelevant. Their memories become dust in the wind. You don't destroy them by revenge. You destroy them by proving they never had the power to break you in the first place. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop mourning what's already dead and start building something new, something unbreakable, something they'll never be able to touch again. Because the truth is, kid, the wait is over. The old you is gone. The weak you is dead. And now, it's time to settle the score. You still hesitate, don't you? Still cling to the past like it holds something worth saving. Like buried somewhere in the ashes of who you used to be, there's a piece of you that still believes in fairness, in justice, in closure. Let me tell you something. Closure is a fairy tale. A pretty little lie people tell themselves when they don't have the stomach to accept the truth. And the truth? The truth is, the only way you get closure is by creating it yourself. You think they're gonna come back and fix what they broke? You think they'll wake up one morning and feel a sudden rush of guilt, a wave of regret that sends them running to your door, begging for forgiveness? No, they moved on, and you're the only one still standing in the ruins, hoping for a miracle that isn't coming. They're out there living their lives like you never existed, while you're here, trapped in a prison of your own making, replaying every moment like somehow, if you think about it long enough, it'll all make sense. But it won't. It never will. Because the kind of people who do what they did to you, they don't look back. They don't feel. They don't care. But you do. That's the problem, isn't it? You still care. Even after everything. Even after the way they treated you like you were nothing. Like you were disposable. You still carry them with you. Like ghosts, whispering in the back of your mind like a wound that refuses to close. And that is what's killing you. Not them, you. Your loyalty to people who threw you away. Your attachment to a version of the past that never truly existed. Your refusal to accept that some doors were never meant to be reopened. But here's the thing. You don't have to carry this weight anymore. You don't have to keep bleeding for people who wouldn't lift a finger for you. The second you decide to let go, to cut the chains, to finally turn your back on what's been holding you down, you become something else, something stronger, something free. That's the part they don't tell you. The power in walking away. The strength in not looking back. The moment you realize that everything you thought you needed, you never needed it at all. The moment you see them for what they really are, just people. Weak, selfish, forgettable people who never deserved a place in your story. And when that moment comes, when you finally wake up and understand that you were always worth more than what they gave you, something inside you will shift. The fear, it'll vanish. The doubt, it'll fade. And all that'll be left is clarity. A cold, sharp realization that everything you spent years mourning was just a stepping stone, a test, a lesson, and now it's time for the next chapter. No more waiting, no more hoping, no more wasting time on people who never saw your worth. You rise, you rebuild, you become something they can't ignore. Because the only way to win this game isn't by begging for what you lost. It's by becoming something greater than they ever imagined. It's by turning your pain into fuel, your scars into armor, your past into the fire that burns away every last trace of the person they tried to break. And when you do, when they see you standing there, untouchable, unshaken, unstoppable, that's when they'll understand. That's when the regret will hit them like a blade to the throat. But by then, it'll be too late for them. Because you won't need them anymore. Because you'll finally be free. The wait is over. It's time to settle the score. And when you finally wake up, when the fog lifts, and you see things for what they truly are, there's no going back. No more illusions, no more excuses, no more waiting for a better ending. Because now you see the world for what it is, a battlefield, a game of survival, and the only ones who make it out alive are the ones who stop playing by the rules written for them. You were taught to be patient, to wait your turn, to be the bigger person. And look where it got you, a front row seat to your own destruction. You watched them take from you, piece by piece, stripping you down to nothing, leaving you with scars only you could see. And the worst part? You let them. You stood there, hands open, offering more, as if sacrificing yourself would somehow make them stay, as if breaking yourself down would somehow make them whole. But here's what you failed to see. They never saw you as a person. You were just a convenience, a temporary fix, a stepping stone on their path to something better. And now they're gone, moved on like you never existed. And you're stuck here, haunted by the memories, carrying the weight of their choices as if it was your cross to bear. But let me ask you something. Why? Why are you still bleeding for people who never even looked back? Why are you punishing yourself for the sins they committed? Why are you still standing in the ruins, waiting for ghosts to come home? Wake up, wake upper. The past isn't a door waiting to be reopened. It's a grave, and the only thing left to do now is bury it. Because every second you waste looking back is a second stolen from the person you're meant to become. Every moment spent hoping for an apology that will never come is a moment given to the very people who never deserved you in the first place. So, what now? Do you keep waiting? Keep suffering? Keep waking up every day feeling like a prisoner in your own skin, weighed down by the echoes of people who never truly mattered? Or do you finally decide that enough is enough? Because that's what it comes down to. A decision. A moment where you either keep breaking under the weight of the past, or you burn it to the ground and build something new. And let me tell you, the second you decide to let go, to truly let go, everything changes. The world shifts. The weight lifts, and for the first time, you see it. The power that was inside you all along. The strength they tried to bury. The fire they tried to put out. And when you step into that power, when you finally understand that you were never weak, that you were never broken, that you were never less than, that's when you win. Not by becoming like them, not by seeking revenge, but by becoming untouchable, by rising so high that they can't even reach you, by proving that every wound, every betrayal, every sleepless night was nothing but fuel for the fire that forged you into something greater. And oh, how they'll regret it. How they'll look at you, standing tall, standing strong, and realize that they lost something they can never get back. But by then, you won't care, because their regret, their guilt, their longing, it won't matter. They'll be nothing but a whisper in the wind, a forgotten chapter in the book of someone who became unstoppable. Because the truth is, the best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's proving that they never mattered in the first place. And that starts now. No more waiting, no more mourning, no more carrying the weight of people who threw you away. And when that moment comes, when you finally strip away the illusions and see the world for what it truly is, you will realize something that should have been obvious from the start. They were never stronger than you. They were never smarter, never better, never more deserving. No, the only advantage they had was that they knew how to take. They knew how to use. They knew how to make you doubt yourself while they walked away with the pieces of you they never earned. And you let them. You let them walk all over you, because somewhere along the way, someone convinced you that being selfless was the right thing to do, that sacrificing yourself for others made you noble, that bending, breaking, bleeding for the sake of people who wouldn't lift a finger for you somehow made you good. But let me ask you something. Where did that kindness get you? Where did all that patience, all that waiting, all that hoping get you? Nowhere. Because this world doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards action. It rewards strength. And strength isn't about fists. It's not about revenge. It's not about making them feel what you felt. No. True strength is when you finally stop caring. When you finally let go of the need to be seen, to be understood, to be validated by people who were never capable of seeing you in the first place. You have wasted too much time. Too much. Time you will never get back. Nights spent overthinking. Days spent pretending you were fine. Years spent convincing yourself that if you just held on a little longer, things would change. But things don't change on their own. People don't change on their own. And if you keep waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect opportunity, that perfect sign, you'll be waiting until there's nothing left of you. Because that's what waiting does. It steals from you. It takes pieces of your soul, one by one, whispering lies in your ear, telling you to be patient, to endure, to forgive. And before you know it, you're nothing but a shadow of what you were meant to be. But not anymore. No, not anymore. Because today is the day it all ends. Today is the day you stop looking back. Today is the day you take back every second, every breath, every heartbeat they stole from you. And no, I don't mean by getting even. I mean by rising so far above them that they can't even reach you. By becoming the kind of person who doesn't need revenge because success is the only answer you'll ever need. And make no mistake, kid, they will regret it. Every word, every choice, every betrayal, every moment they thought they could live without you will come back to haunt them because they never expected you to rise. They never expected you to walk away. They thought they broke you, thought they could mold you into whatever they wanted, thought they could control you. And for a while, they did. But now, you're something else, something untouchable, something dangerous, something they can never have again. And the best part? You don't even care anymore. That's the real revenge. That's the real power. When they finally look back, desperate, searching for the person they once controlled, and they realize that person doesn't exist anymore. They lost you. And not because they walked away, not because of time or distance or circumstance. They lost you because you chose to let them go. And that is what will haunt them more than anything. So take a deep breath, feel it, that shift, that change, that moment when you stop being the victim of your own story and start being the one who writes the ending. This is it. This is your rebirth. No more waiting. No more hoping. No more mourning what was never meant to lie. And when that final piece of doubt leaves you, when the last chain of hesitation snaps, you will feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Freedom. Not the kind they talk about in books, not the kind you see in movies, where everything suddenly falls into place and the pain just disappears. No, this is a different kind of freedom. The kind that comes with knowing, deep in your bones, that you owe no one anything. That you are done explaining yourself, done waiting, done hoping, because the truth is, they were never going to give you what you needed. They were never going to come back and fix what they broke. They were never going to wake up one day and see you the way you wanted them to. And you know what? That's fine. Because now you see yourself. And that is the only thing that ever really mattered. You were a prisoner to their words, their opinions, their validation. But look around. Where are they now? Where are the people who made you feel like you were never enough? Where are the ones who looked you in the eye and swore they'd be there, only to vanish when you needed them most? Gone. And that is the greatest lesson life will ever teach you. People leave. People forget. People move on. And the only thing left, the only thing you can ever truly count on is you. So what are you going to do with that? Spend another day mourning what's already dead? Another night begging the universe for answers that will never come? Or are you finally ready to rise? Because that's what this is. It's not just a decision. It's not just a shift in mindset. It's a war. And the battlefield isn't out there in the world. It's in your head. It's every voice that told you you weren't good enough. Every memory that drags you back into the past. Every doubt that tries to convince you to stay small, to stay quiet, to stay weak. But you aren't weak. You never were. You were just waiting for permission to be strong. Well, here it is, your permission, your moment, your turning point. No more chains, no more ghosts, no more carrying the weight of people who never deserved to be in your life in the first place. Because the truth, they lost you the second they thought you would always be there. They lost you the moment they underestimated your ability to survive without them. And when they look back, when they see what you've become, when they realize that their absence didn't break you, it built you, that will be the moment they feel the weight of their own choices. And you won't even look back, because the past is nothing but ashes now. And you are the fire that rises from it. So breathe, stand up, step forward, and never look back.